The fight is all around us. There is no running. There is no hiding. In the face of evil, there is only standing your ground, fighting to protect what you love, to grab arms, to defy giants, or at least die trying. But when the odds are overwhelming, who will tip the scales? What's up everyone, it's Area of Effect with another out-of-the-box build. This time a healer, a Warden healer. We're going with a Magicka Healer and a Breton race on this build. In this particular battle, we got almost 3 million total healing points. And we're doing that because this build is set up basically with just constant AoE heals and heal over times. So the whole entire battle area at a pretty good circumference, by the way, is just constantly being layered and layered and layered with healing over times. And then we got some burst heal like right there with combat prayer to mitigate ultimates, dark convergence. This group stayed together pretty good, which allowed for a lot of the AoEs and healing over times to hit everybody. But this build's a lot of fun. It's very effective, and it also offers a couple of different synergies to your allies, which is always a good thing. Synergies give boosts to resources and extra damage or healing, so that's always a plus. So yeah, this build is very fun and ice themed mostly. But check out the scoreboard, almost 3 million healing. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed those clips of what this build looks like and what it can do, as well as that introduction. Let's take a look at the stat screen now. Over 35,000 max Magicka. Look at the recoveries on this build and the resistances. We're using a smoked bear haunch for that max health and triple recoveries on this build. Want to just keep on going with our resources, and the serpent is going to give us more stamina recovery. We picked this because we want to constantly break free and keep going in PvP. If you're doing PvE, you could probably just use the Atronach. We are a Breton for that extra max Magicka. Gives us 2,000 more. Spell attunement, it gives us that Magicka recovery by 130 and some more spell resistance. And the last one is Magicka Mastery, and reduces the cost of all our Magicka abilities by 7%. So that's going to really push our sustain. We don't need spell damage on this build as we're a healer. So taking a look at the gear now, the first 5-piece set is Winters Respite. We're using the Restoration Staff with a powered trait, Magicka Recovery, Max Magicka, casting abilities that leave an effect on the ground, create a circle of frost healing for 10 seconds, and 4705 healing every 2 seconds while inside the circle. And it scales off of Max Magicka and Max Stamina, whichever is higher. So I'm going to go ahead and cast Illustrious Healing, which is a Resto Staff skill. It's that gold AoE on the floor, and that procced Winter's Respite, which is the Frosty Mist. So that's 2 different healing AoE, heal over times, layered right there. We have it on a Resto bar, so we proc it on command with the Resto bar. On the other bar, Sword and Board, Cold Harbor's favorite, Sword and Shield, Max Magicka, Max Stamina, and then weapon and spell damage. If you notice, 3 and 5 or 4 and 5 are toggled off because we're not selecting it. But 20,000 health over 6 seconds is what that's going to do when you proc it with the heal. If you proc it with a damage like a hit or a stun or a light attack with a sword or staff, it could proc the blue right there, which you see is damaging him. But if you proc it with a heal, which is what we usually do, we're not usually dealing damage, you get that 20,000 healing over 6 seconds, which is pretty great. The monster set, Warden the Nightflame Max Magicka, and when you heal yourself or an ally, 20% chance to summon a totem. 5 meter is the circumference or diameter there, 3,000 health every second. So just casting some skills to see if I can proc it. There I got the blue damaging Cold Harbor's favorite, but you'll see it proc here in just a sec afterward. So Warden the Nightflame's arm cops, we've got 1 heavy helmet, 1 medium shoulder, and the light to get the Undaunted passives to the max. If you don't like Warden, you could use Earthgore, is a great monster set. We initially were using Symphony of Blades just to help push out some recoveries to the teammates. This is an option if you have it To be honest with you, any healing set, Choke Thorn is a great one, gives you more, more recovery and a big bursty single target heal over time. Sentinel of Arkugams boosts your healing with the first trait, and then summons that spider that gives you stamina, magicka, and healing. So a lot of good options. Let's go ahead and go through the gear. We do have a trainee gloves for that extra trait. Torque of Tonal Constancy, that is our mythic item. We're getting a ton of recovery off of that. When your stamina is below 50 or your magicka is below 50%, you'll buff the other recovery by 450. And then we got two, Winters Respite rings to complete the gear setup. Taking a look at the skills now, starting with our restoration staff. The first skill, Energy Orb, sends that floating ball out 2100 health every 1 second, but offers the synergy for healing and resources. And now more than one person can synergize with it. Check it out. The dog's going to, or the rat is going to proc Bogdan. I told you we'd proc it later. There it is. It drops down. You see the size of that, by the way, the gold ring. So yeah, Energy Orbs is a great skill to cast right in the middle of a battlefield, and offers healing and synergies to everybody. The next skill, Radiating Regen, almost 25,000 health over 10 seconds to pretty much all of your allies. You cast it once or twice and they're all going to get it. And with these heal over times, they're going to go with the body wherever they go, even if they leave an AoE. Illustrious Healing, we talked about this. I used it initially. It's an AoE heal over time, an initial 2,500 health, and then 2,500 every second in the area. Of course, there you see it, and it's with Winter's Respite, but I'll move it over here so you can see it by itself. So just a nice, and you could obviously there's no need to spam it, but you can lay it down and leave it there, and like I said, layer the battlefield with all of these heal over times AoEs. The next skill, Blessing of Restoration, big bursty heal for almost 11,000 health, but gives your allies minor resolve, and well, it used to be minor ward, increasing physical and spell resistance by 3,000. But it's a big bursty heal, all in one. It's like a blockade. We use this and we spam this when things get crazy. Somebody drops an ultimate. The next skill, Inner Light. Now, having this slotted increases your max magicka and gives you that spell crit. And now it gives you, it should give you major savagery as well. But in place, and I use this in the video, but in place of it, you should use Lotus Blossom. It's also going to give you that spell critical whenever it's active for 20 seconds, but then your light and heavy attacks are going to heal allies. So it's just even more healing than I had in that video even. You just got to make sure to keep it up and cast it. And the next skill, the ultimate, is, well, if you want to slot Eternal Guardian and not use it just for that, having an animal companion ability slotted for that recovery, you could do that for that 12% magicka and stamina recovery. And we've already got an animal companion ability on the sword and board bar, but having it on this bar, enables a magicka and stamina recovery. But I like to use Reviving Barrier. It's a big ultimate that gives a shield, also gives a healing over time, and also as a support skill, while it's slotted, it should give 10% magicka recovery itself. So not quite that 12% magicka and stamina, but it does give you that 10% by having this slotted. And again, you can't really cast the bear. I put these points back in. You can't really cast the bear when he's on one bar, he goes away. Sword and board bar. First skill, Nature's Embrace, one of my favorite skills in the game. It's a gap closer, immediately takes you to an ally with a vine, heals for almost 23,000 health over 10 seconds. It also gives ultimate. It will heal you both. The next skill, Polar Wind, heal yourself for a big burst chunk, and then an additional healing over time for 5 seconds. But it also targets an ally, heals them for a 6,000 point chunk, which could crit, which I'll actually show you here. I'll use the rat. So you see there, I casted it, I get it, and he gets it. So he's getting that heal over time there. And just a good skill. We don't have the stun morph. We just went with the extra healing for an additional ally. All right, the next skill, another AoE heal over time, Budding Seeds. Heals for 13,000 health, an additional 1651 every 1 second, and then also offers the Harvest synergy. offering even more healing. And of course, like I talked about before, there you can see I glitched there, but there you can see the field. Now I can cast this again to instantly consume it, but an ally can also, when in it, synergize with the Harvest synergy, restoring a big chunk of health and also getting those Undaunted passives. Next skill, Blue Betty. It's going to restore Magicka to us over 25 seconds. It's going to give us Major Brutality and Sorcery for our weapon and spell damage buff, which is going to increase the potency of our heals. And every 5 seconds, it's going to clear a negative effect. Now you could spam it like I'm doing here to not have to wait the full 5 seconds, which I think is great. It's a free skill. It doesn't take anything to cast. And like I said earlier, we have an Animal Companion ability slotted on this bar already, so we get that 12% Magicka and Stamina recovery. That's why I have the bear on the other bar, but I don't know, it's not worth it to have the bear, in my opinion, on one bar. Next skill, Ice Fortress, Major Resolve and Major Ward, but it's also going to give us minor protection, increasing our damage taken by 5%. If you wanted to go with the more supportive morph, you give more people in a wider range Major Resolve and Major Ward. So maybe you can go that route if you wanted to, as far as being a support player to the max. But I like that minor protection. The ultimate on this bar is Healing Thicket, a big burst heal, almost 11,000 health, then 4,000 health every second for 6 seconds, and then after that 6 seconds is over, or when you leave it, you still continue to get for 4 seconds that big heal over time. So there you see there, it's like a grove. And if you notice, that didn't proc Winter's Respite, as Winter's Respite is only proccable on the Resto Staff bar. So moving on. So champion points, your favorite, especially the green tree. You know, these ones are going to be pretty functional as utility for potion, enchantments, fall damage. There's not really a whole lot in this tree that's going to be combat necessary. Fighting Finesse increases your critical damage and healing done by 10%. That's going to buff our heals when they crit. Soothing Tide, healing done by area of effect heals. That's everything we do pretty much, 10%. Area healing over time heals by 10%. That's everything we do. So big burst there, and then more Magicka, max Magicka for a bigger pool to scale our procs off of, because they scale off of the higher of the two pools. Red Tree, more physical and spell resistance. We've got Rejuvenation for more health, Magicka, and stamina recovery at all times. Peace of Mind for more health and Magicka recovery when we're under CC immunity. And Sustained by Suffering under negative effect, 150 health, Magicka, and stamina recovery. So triple recoveries there, just keeping us going. That's how we had such a high recovery on the character stat screen. But that's going to wrap up the CP distribution and going to wrap up the build breakdown in this video, the Winters Nightflame build. If you like this video and you want to see more, head on over to my channel. I've got plenty of builds on there, something for everybody for sure, and some non-build related material, or just some entertainment. But yeah, leave a like, subscribe, and share, please. And I got plenty of builds ready to go for this High Isle update we all just received, so I'm excited to put those out there, and just excited to be back and to engage with all of you and get some feedback. I hope you guys are ready for some entertainment, and yeah, look forward to seeing you guys out there. Like I said, like, subscribe, and please share. Feel free to copy and paste or tweak my build. Let me know what you changed. And that's going to wrap up this video, guys. As always, thanks for watching. Area of Effect, signing out.